The first sign that my life was about to change was a note on my pillow. I found it late one Tuesday night. I had just come home from dinner with an old friend. The house was quiet. I turned on the bedroom lamp and saw a folded sheet of paper sitting on my pillow. At first I thought it was a reminder. Then I saw my name. Mom. I opened it. The first sentence made my heart stop. Stop planning your future around us. I read the rest. My son said he had his own family. He said he had his own responsibilities. He said I needed to make my own plans. I read the note twice. Then I folded it. I placed it beside my bed. And I went to sleep. For the first time in months I slept peacefully. My name is Margaret Hayes. I am 67 years old. I have been a widow for almost 10 years. I spent 32 years working as a school administrator. After retirement I thought I would finally enjoy my life. Instead I became the person everyone depended on. My son Jason lived in my house with his wife Emily and their 2 children. 6 years earlier they had been struggling. They were expecting their first child. Their apartment was tiny. Their rent kept increasing. Jason told me they were terrified about their future. I had a large property outside town. There was a beautiful main house. There was also a smaller guest house behind it. So I made what I thought was a loving decision. I moved into the guest house. Then I let Jason and Emily live in the main house. They did not pay rent. They only had to handle their own daily expenses. At first they were grateful. Jason hugged me. Emily cried. They promised me they would never forget what I had done. But gratitude changes when people become comfortable. Within a year they stopped saying thank you. Then they started acting like the house belonged to them. Emily changed rooms without asking me. She removed furniture that belonged to my late husband. One day I asked where my mother's old cabinet had gone. Emily said it looked outdated. She had given it away. I was hurt, but I stayed quiet. Then came the babysitting. Sometimes I would wake up and find my grandson standing outside my door with a backpack. Emily would already be driving away. No phone call, no request, just expectation. Jason rarely said anything. He had become afraid of arguing with his wife. I kept accepting everything because I loved my grandson. Then one afternoon I heard Emily talking with 2 of her friends outside. She pointed toward my guest house. She said it would make a great gym someday. One of her friends laughed. Emily said I would probably downsize soon. Then she said the guest house could become a perfect space for her family. Jason was standing right beside her. He said nothing. That was the moment I finally understood. They were no longer grateful that I had helped them. They were waiting for me to disappear. Then came the note. Stop planning your future around us. So I decided to listen. The next morning I called my lawyer. By lunchtime my will had been changed. Jason was no longer the person responsible for my estate. That afternoon he stormed into my kitchen. My lawyer called me Mom. He said, "You removed me from your estate." I walked to my bedroom. I brought back the note. Then I handed it to him. Jason stared at his own handwriting. "Mom, I did not mean it like that." I looked at him. "You told me to stop planning my future around you." He looked confused. I continued. "So I stopped. I stopped planning. I stopped paying. I stopped protecting you from your own responsibilities." He said I was overreacting. I smiled. "No, Jason. I think I waited far too long." The next morning I opened my laptop. For 6 years I had been quietly paying bills connected to that house. Water, internet, trash service, a family phone plan. I had even bought Jason an SUV when his old car broke down. The title was still in my name. I canceled every payment I was responsible for. Then I removed Jason and Emily from my phone plan. Then I contacted the insurance company about the SUV. I closed my laptop, and something unexpected happened. I felt free. 2 days later Jason came running across the yard. His phone was dead. The internet was gone. He asked what I had done. I told him the truth. I had stopped paying. Emily came outside screaming. She said I was being cruel. I told her she had 2 adults living in that house. They could handle their own bills. Then she threatened me. She said maybe I would not see my grandson that weekend. For years that threat would have worked. This time I simply opened my book. Then I said something that shocked both of them. "That is your decision as his mother." They walked away. The next morning I changed the locks on my guest house. That afternoon Emily came to my door. She wanted to leave her son with me. I told her I was unavailable. She became angry. She said I was inside. I said yes. Then I closed the door. That night I stood in my kitchen and looked out toward the main house. I realized something. The bills were only the beginning. The real problem was that they still believed everything I owned belonged to them. And I knew exactly what I was going to do next. Because I was not going to spend the rest of my life fighting for my own home. I was going to leave it behind. And when Jason found out what I had planned, he would realize that losing the free internet had been the least of his problems.